This story begins where we see the first meeting of a man named Francois, that is by showing a residence to a female named Daniela, whilst carrying some matters to stay together and get to recognize every different. The following day Francois became visited by way of a chum who's additionally his private doctor to check his health, while chatting and then knowing the whereabouts of Daniela. His medical doctor reminded Francois that he had a weak heart, and if he was with Daniela it would make his coronary heart health worse. After that her physician noticed Daniela then explaining all about Francois' sickness, and asked her to be more cautious with her health. Francois and Daniela invite their buddies once more to have dinner together and ask for a session about the sports they do for the beyond few days. After that his best buddy checks Francois' blood stress, and fortunately the consequences are still normal and fine. And earlier than his best friend left he kept reminding them to be greater careful in doing their everyday activities. Then he unfortunately told about a female who was his affected person who he as soon as had, left him because he became in ache and made him unable continuing lifestyles. Francois contacted his best pal to come back to the house because Daniela's health condition was disturbed and not precise, and when he arrived there suddenly his excellent buddy fell and died of a heart attack, whilst checking Daniela's condition in his room. Francois, who desires to show Daniela's life to his pals in his office, invitations them to his residence. But, after they were given there, Daniela, who was told by way of Francois, become not at domestic, even her friends made positive that there were no assets in the residence that belonged to a girl. Francois then goes to Daniela's work and unearths her with a man, intentionally replying to his annoyance he meets another lady and attempts to go with her, but in the end Francois cannot have the funds for it and then returns to Daniela, expresses his emotions. All of a sudden his heart weakens and they come back collectively packing matters to move back to Francois' house. One night time a female who is Francois' neighbor came knocking on their door. Dan said that he changed into at paintings, and became very disturbed by Daniela's screams. Listening to this, Daniela then went out after Francois. Seeing the lady made them end up preventing, however then Francois stopped. A person named Charlie who is Daniela's boss and considers him a husband, involves Francois and Daniela even as drinking a few glasses, and Charlie reminds Francois of breaking the policies by bringing his spouse, Daniela. Francois was supplied an agreement by using Charlie that he might be with Daniela, but at the condition that he gave Charlie $4 million. After that, Francois approached Daniela confirming his choice, and asked his consent to exchange cash with him. However Daniela's response to Francois made it appear like there was no desire of getting it. Charlie, who by no means stopped, interfered with Francois' mind and selections, then made Francois decide to reject the deal, then allow Charlie and his men go by way of bringing Daniela. When they arrived at Charlie's house, he turned into very upset to hear Daniela who saved considering Francois. He even found out that he felt at ease when he was with him but not when he turned into with Charlie. Charlie, who is getting angry, then techniques Daniela and asks what made her not able to forget Francois. Listening to all of Daniela's answers, Charlie invites two of her pals to go into their room and ask their opinion about what Daniela simply stated. After their argument then Charlie lets in Daniela to go again to Francois. Daniela then went to satisfy Francois at his house. And when he were given there, he became very amazed to see Francois with a woman who changed into none apart from Francois' neighbor. After that the three of them amassed in Dan's residing room to explain the misunderstanding that took place. However ultimately, a very dissatisfied Daniela got into an issue with the female. Dan made her go away and left him with Francois. Then while looking at Francois he cried and revealed that he could not forget him, and suddenly, on the equal time Francois revealed his honesty to Daniela that he did now not have much money, however only had earnings from the effects of his work. Listening to this made Daniela a touch dissatisfied and far from Francois. But in the end she ordinary Francois absolutely. A pal of Francois came to his residence, and with the door half of open they chatted in the back of the door. He asked Francois' coronary heart health, then tried to enter his residence. All of a sudden Daniela approached them and advised him to come in. After that his friend discovered that he did now not come alone but nearly all of his office associates, Francois, came to satisfy him and met Daniela. They then dance collectively. And a few men who are François' office mates. Talking approximately Daniela's beauty, listening to them, François then stops. With a touch punch to his pal. Suddenly Charlie also deliberately came to attend their birthday party, while seeing Daniela who was dancing, made Charlie remember her memories whilst she first met and knew Daniela. However, François' neighbor disturbs Charlie's thoughts from in the back of the window, and after that she then joins the dance birthday party. Then they all dance together to get rid of each trouble in their thoughts. François, who is looking for Daniela, surprised to see Daniela with another man, and the person is François' workplace mate. This makes François sad, however he feels used to it. Charlie, who also noticed it, have become very irritated. Eventually, Charlie shot her buddy François. Charlie asks for the loyalty of Daniela's love proved to François. In which Daniela confesses to Charlie that she loves François. The film ends in which they become living happily together, and François' heart health is getting higher with none problems. It's the storyline video. I am hoping you like it. Don't forget to help subscribe for greater content like this, and press the like button to assist us, and leave a remark when you have different tips for us to recap your favorite film. Thank you for looking, and continually be cautious.